Hello everyone, welcome. Today I want to continue with a video that I had made before, a little lecture I'd made before called How to Meditate When You're Not Feeling Well. Very important. I went to look at it to see how many people have viewed it. You know how many? 0. Maybe I gave it the wrong title. I'll try a different title. It's very important. When I say not feeling well, I mean physically not feeling well, being sick, flu, pain, fever, delirium. And I might also include when things aren't going well. Because see, when things aren't going well, what happens? You get lost in thoughts, don't you? Your thoughts whirl and whirl and whirl and worry. You keep thinking about what happened. Say you've got some big issue, a big financial issue or family issue or impending something that's coming along. And you are thinking about it all the time. Thinking about it, worrying and thinking. Your thoughts whirl and whirl and whirl. You sit there watching television or you try to read a newspaper or something and your eyes go over the page, but you don't even know what you're reading because you're lost in your daydream. Okay? So I've said all along that starting over again, and this time getting it right, means connecting with God. He has to be involved. You can't do it on your own. You've tried on your own. Your whole life you've tried on your own. You tried to disregard your intuition, your conscience. And you always figured you could do it on your own. And if things worked out, you took pride in them. And if they didn't work out, well, then you blamed someone else. Or you blamed yourself. Redoubled your efforts. But you see, ultimately, we need God. We are creatures. We are created in the image and likeness of God. As such, without Him, what happens? We wither. See, we can't make it without Him. Oh, sure, when you're young, you have energy, and you have life, which goes with being young. And so you can mask the fact that you're not connected to God for quite a long time, but eventually chickens come home to roost, as the old expression goes. So you have to find God. Now where are you going to find Him? You find Him in the present moment, in reality, not in daydreams. See, the soul basically is in either one of two places. You're either in reality or you're in some kind of thinking, thought stream, daydream stream. See? And the place where you find God is in reality, in the present, not in daydreams. Now, if you look carefully, you'll see that all the negative thoughts and unhappy emotions and bitter memories and regrets and all of these negative thoughts and emotions, where are they? They're right between your two ears. See? You can have two people sitting side by side on a park bench, and one person is looking at the beautiful little lake in the park and the ducks on the lake and is happy, and the other person is sitting there and totally unhappy. And why are they unhappy? Because of what's going on inside between their two ears. Now that doesn't mean that there aren't things to be concerned about. You have to learn how to be concerned without worrying. Okay? You remember when you were a kid and your parents were all worried over you. Remember how it embarrassed you, and you didn't like that. You didn't mind if they were concerned, but you didn't want them worried. Okay? Well, but that's what you're doing now. You're worrying about everything. See? Or lost in thinking about it, trying to plan and scheme your way out of things. So what you need is objectivity, reality, presence of mind. Presence of mind. You have presence of mind when you're not lost in the daydream stream, thought stream, delirium, hallucinations, fantasy. See? So you want to be in reality and find God. And you will be able to find God. He's always there. When you no longer resent the light. See, most people resent the light because it shows them as they are. It shows them that they've been messing up and they're resentful and they've said the wrong thing to their partner and communication's not good with their kids, and it shows them for what they are. And so they don't like conscience, which is what the light feels like. But you see, if you learn to walk with the light, then it'll become 20/20, not 20/20 hindsight anymore, but it'll be present sight and foresight. So you'll start making less mistakes and then no mistakes. You'll start handling each moment properly with the light present. See, you need to have the light with you, God's light, His wordless light of intuition. You need to have that with you. So now, getting back to the situation where people find, see, the worse things get, the more the thoughts rise up and overwhelm your consciousness, until eventually you're just floundering in thoughts and daydreams and memories and fantasies. See, you're just floating away with them. See? So what you have to do is find a way. When you're in that situation, it'd be better if you learned to meditate when you weren't in that situation, when things were kind of okay. It's easier to meditate. I find it hard to meditate when I'm sick, if I have a fever, or if something happens that is trying to pull me into worry, trying to pull me into doubt, trying to pull me into planning and scheming and thinking about it, okay? And so what you need to do is to see if you can practice the meditation first thing in the morning when you get up. Drag yourself to the chair, drag yourself to the bathroom and sit on the chair there, or in your room, just sit in a chair. And practice looking at the inside of your eyelids, observing the particles of light, the little pixels of light, patterns of light, the warm glow on the inside of your eye. Just watch that light. Watch those pixels. And at the same time, become aware of your hand or your hands. Now you'll be in reality. Okay? And do that, and then thoughts will start to come along, like what you're going to do, what you got planned for the day, and so on. And so they'll come along, and all of a sudden you'll notice that you had temporarily gotten lost in the thought stream. You'll notice it. The moment you notice it, you're back in reality again. Now you're looking at the little glow of light on the inside of your eyelids. You're watching that light. And you're aware of your hand or your hands. Hands become a little bit tingly warm. And you do that, okay? Then you're ready for the day. Then you practice meditation at noon and then again in the evening, or at odd times during the day if you have a minute or 2 or 5 minutes where you can sit quietly and meditate. You can also meditate when you're laying down. Okay? You can meditate in the middle of the night when you wake up. If you wake up during the night, you feel pressure, you start worrying or something, you start meditating. But the reason I say in a chair, for starters, is because you're more likely to be able to carry out the simple instructions. If you're laying in bed, well, you might fall asleep or go drifting away with dreams or something. See, so start by sitting in a chair. Then you can practice it in any position. Okay. But now, so then during the day, if you're lost in pain, or you're lost in thoughts, or you're lost in worries, see, or lost in fantasy, whatever you're lost in, then all of a sudden you'll realize that you're lost in it and then snap out. See, when you snap out, you're back in reality again. You're closer to God. So just understand this very basic, this very simple thing. The closer you are to God, the better off you are. Okay? It's that simple. So a little bit closer is better. See, a lot closer is better than a little bit, but a little bit is better than nothing. See, and a little bit closer to God is a lot better than being closer to the other guy. See, down in your daydreams, in your thoughts and your worries, The other guy, the guy with the horns, that faceless, whatever it is, who you have thought was your own thinking, your own conscience. It's a false conscience. It always misleads you, and it caters to you in your pride. See, it tells you what you want to hear, and thoughts rise up. Now, whether those thoughts are from it, see, or whether those thoughts are just your natural inclination to want to avoid, your egotistical inclination to want to avoid the light, those thoughts rise up and try to pull you away from awareness. See? And those thoughts can tempt you with anything. Thinking about what you're going to eat, or anything. Could be anything. Okay? So some of them are harmless. Some of them are actually temptation. They're actually all temptation in as much as they pull you away from reality. So, like I said, when things are not going so well, when in the past all you did was worry, doubt, fear, worry, lost in your thoughts. Well, now you'll be able to snap out and snap out and snap out all day long. You'll snap out back in reality, You have presence of mind. And every time you snap out of that dream stream, that daydream stream, every time, you're a little closer to God again. A little bit of light enters your gloom, enters your darkness. See? And when you notice that you're lost when you notice that you're lost in some kind of a worry or planning the future or some kind of fantasy, when you notice that, you are back in the present, and you are objective to that thought. You're not part of it. You're observing it. And you're observing it in God's light. See? And you see what it is, an empty, useless thought. Now there's magic in being in the present and observing things in God's light. There's magic in it. Because God's light has a way of shining on things and making the false things dissolve. So if you try to think of a pink elephant, if you stare at that thought of a pink elephant, it dissolves away. See? If you stand back and glare at it, it dissolves away. The negative things, the frightening things, the unhappy things, the scary things, the loom up from the subconscious. See, they dissolve away in the light. And then you see them for what they are, just empty thoughts, empty, useless thoughts. They can't help you. And they won't hurt you either if you learn to be objective to them. See, they don't have power over you. You just watch them. Stand back and watch them. There's great power in just observing. There's power in just observing. And the closer you are to God, the closer the magic of His light can begin to operate in your life without any effort on your part. All of a sudden you'll wake up one day and you'll realize that things are better. Things are getting better. Mysteriously, magically. Problems resolve themselves. Issues fall away. Things that were once worries are no longer so. Guilts that you once had, that you kept struggling with, all of a sudden become a non-factor. It's magic. Magic in God's light. So, I have a meditation I call the Easy Meditation. It's free. Go to sheddingshackles.com and just look for the Easy Meditation. Give it a try. It's only 6 minutes long. It's free. It'll get you started. My name is Roland.